Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to install this AEM oil pressure gauge step by step. This is part number 35-8460, and we're going to be installing this on a 2009 Subaru Impreza WRX Hatch. This is probably applicable to most any EJ25 turbocharged engine, but that just happens to be the car that I'm installing it on. So just going to go over a couple things briefly right now. This is your sensor that's going to be going into the oil galley. I bought this torque solution adapter thinking I would need it. I'm not sure if I will or not. You can see it's an 1/8 inch NPT oil galley plug. I may end up using this, I may not, because I believe the current plug is already the same thread pitch and will work fine, but we'll see. This is your harness right here. This goes to the sensor, and that goes to your gauge. And then you got black for ground, red for power, and then these are data logging related wires right here, so you can just cut those back and tape them off if you're not going to use them. So AEM also includes instructions on their website. I tried this code and it didn't work, so I would recommend looking up the part number that's on the back of your gauge, which again is 35-8460. AEM also includes this silver kind of sparkly bezel along with a white face for the gauge and your standard mount along with 2 brass nuts. I'm going to be putting this in a glow shift A-pillar. So why might somebody want to install one of these on a WRX or an STI? Well, I'll just give you a brief explanation about that. So the stock one is directly below the alternator right there. And I believe, it comes up with that symbol on your dash that'll illuminate red. And I believe it only alerts you if your oil pressure drops below 5 PSI. Typically, around startup, it'll be 80s to 90s, and it is directly related to engine RPM. So if your engine RPMs go up, oil pressure is probably going to spike, obviously. And if it's lower, it's going to be obviously lower in pounds PSI. So that pretty much, if it alerts you, your motor's toast. So that's why we're installing this one, to keep like a closer eye on it with a more precise number. This location, by the way, is probably the best you're going to get, because it's, as far as I know, it's the closest to obviously the pump and the oil galley. So it's going to get the most accurate reading. If you had it somewhere else, the pressure might vary a little bit, but this is the closest to the pump and the galley, which is what we want. So to start, you're just going to remove this 10mm right here. So once you remove that, it should look just like this. There's another little rubber plug that goes in here. You just pop it out, set your cover aside. Also, since we're going to be doing a little bit of electrical work, probably not a bad idea to disconnect this. Okay, so now you're going to go ahead and remove that plug from the alternator, unplug this, get this out of the way as well. Don't lose the nut that's on there. Move these harnesses out of the way and that plug out of the way. The way I got this was just pressing with my finger, then sticking a screwdriver right there and then popping it out, moving this out of the way. Then this is going to be a 12 mil. All right, so that's moved out of the way now, kind of held by a screwdriver, I guess. So we're going to loosen this, get the belt off of here, then go ahead and take this bolt out. Both, again, 12mm. So I don't know if it was completely necessary, but I loosened the tensioner, took this out, then I started undoing this one right here, which again is a 12mm. Try not to lose the bracket that's back here. Keep a magnet handy if you have one. This is what came off of the right side of the alternator. This came off the left. Trying to keep track of that. So for now, what you can do is just get this belt out of the way. You don't have to take it completely off. Just kind of tuck it down here. Make sure it doesn't fall or anything like that. Maybe you just hang it on your power steering pump in the meantime. If you guys have a 3-port boost controller mounted here, I actually ended up getting the 05 to 09 Legacy GT bracket for whatever reason. You might just have to loosen it and kind of flop it out of the way, because this needs to kind of shimmy off of this in order to be removed. So you kind of just have to bend it up and wiggle it to get it out, and just set it gently aside. So there's our OEM sensor right there. I believe that just pops out here. It's like a little prong style thing. So guys, I would encourage you to use a 1/2-inch drive long handle ratchet with an extension and a deep reach. I've seen people use impacts on them. Probably not terrible, but I don't want to risk stripping anything, so just playing it safe with that. A 24mm slipped right on there. I'm going to try it out. So there's your factory oil pressure sensor right there. It was a 24mm to get onto this. You can remove this if you want. I'm going to see if that AEM sensor will thread into it. If not, I'm going to have to use that torque solution adapter, but we'll see. So the AEM sensor would not thread into the stock Oil Galley plug, so we're going to be using the torque solution adapter. So again, I would encourage you to use a long handle ratchet with a deep reach. This is a 17 mil for the stock galley plug. So that came out pretty easy. Here it is. On the left you have the torque solution one, on the right you have the OEM one. I actually don't think they are the same thread pitch, so make sure you guys buy this, or I think there's another company that sells them too, but Torque Solution is pretty nice quality, so shout out to them for always keeping it real and making good stuff. So then you'll just thread it into the same spot. If you take a peek in there, you're going to see probably bearing material and stuff because it's a turbocharged Subaru engine. Just kidding, mostly. I mean, not a improbable thing, but just going to tighten that down. It's probably got a torque spec, just, you know, tighten it, whatever. If you want to look up the torque spec, great. If you don't, just don't over tighten it, don't overdo it. So once you have your galley plug installed, you're just going to thread this 1/8 inch NPT sensor into that. From there, you're going to route the harness through the firewall, and then after that I'll show you how to wire the gauge and stuff. But I would encourage you to use some thread locker on this. Well, maybe not thread locker, RTV, like Permatex, the right stuff, or just some black RTV. A little bit on the threads wouldn't hurt. If you don't have any, whatever, but make sure it's on there pretty tight and it's not going to come off. So plug this in. There's a little retainer clip on there. Should stay in there pretty good. Then use a coat hanger, route it underneath your intake manifold. Try to keep it away from hot stuff. I'm probably just going to be lazy and poke it through the fender firewall bung because we're going up the A-pillar, and I don't feel like trying to snake it through another firewall bung because that's just the easiest one to go through because it's already got stuff in it. So from here, you're going to pop these couple clips out, then route it through the driver's side firewall bung behind the fender. So guys, the worst part of it is getting it through there. This popped off because I tugged too hard, even though it was taped like 6 times. So good luck with that. So guys, I did end up getting it installed. This is about 3.5, 4 hours later from when all those other videos were taken. It does work. I've tested it. In order to give it power, I just tapped the, I think it's the nav fuse. I'll just double check real quick. Yes, so audio navigation. Make sure if you do a fuse tap, you buy a Littelfuse. If you don't want to do that, I mean, you can probably try the clock wires or whatever. That's an old school way of doing it, but that's how I like to do it. As you can see, I've already done it for my boost gauge and my AFR gauge, and it worked out fine. I got that Littelfuse from Advance Auto for like $9. Well, $5 with a coupon, but you know, like around $10 or a little less. So this gauge really isn't mounted all that far away from that firewall bung, but I will warn you guys, AEM, unless they've changed it since I bought it, does not provide a long enough harness to reach this with, you know, it's got like whatever connectors on the back of it will plug in here. That section of it is too short, and the power section of it is a little bit longer. So what I did is I cut the power section in half and then just basically extended the harness for this part. And then I still had more than enough to utilize a Littelfuse, connect it in with there, and then ground it to, there's a screw that's right in here somewhere that I utilized, and I combined it with the other grounds that I already have. I need to get a ring terminal on that. Make sure you guys do that. Probably not a bad idea. But if you just curl the wires around a, you know, bare metal spot with a screw or bolt in it, it's fine. Yeah. Also, this is like cross-thread and screwed up now, so that's great. But it does work. I will do a startup video here in a sec. So something to bear in mind before you start it up, don't overthink it. And if this number that's on here for me does not match yours, that's okay. If your car's tuned, consult your tuner, ask them what it should be, and then go from there. If your car's stock, I would consult NASIOC, which is North American Subaru Impreza Owners Club. It's a forum online. There's plenty of other forums as well, but that's probably a pretty good one to check out about oil pressure related topics. So I'm going to do a cold start. So as you can see, get a little rabbit spikes. Don't get psyched out by this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I wasn't super descriptive about the wiring portion of it, but do what works best for you. Again, I would recommend a Littelfuse, and then using some kind of ignition-based fuse, obviously, so it turns on when your car turns on. But yeah, the only major thing is, again, try to probably extend the harness for the part of it that goes to the back of this. Other than that, the instructions are online as well. Plenty of other people have done videos on this, so if you guys don't like mine, that's okay. Go check out someone else's channel. There's a Canadian guy, I forget his name. He has a good video on it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and see ya.